Let's go.
Good evening, chatty Cathys. I am glad to see everyone smiling, or most of you are smiling this evening, and talkative. So we're going to start 2 minutes late, as I was told. For the Finance Committee agenda, we are going to start with new resolutions, starting with temporary resolution 9025 coming through economic development. And Mrs. Hoop.
Turn this on. Okay. This is a blanket now and then to cover the grants. So it's to approve all of the then and now certificates that may arise in 2026 so that we can pay those invoices that were incurred in 2025.
Okay.
And if there's any other.
And that's for CDBG, for community
Yeah, it's for all of
development.
them. CHIP program, Healthy Homes Grant.
Okay.
I think that's all of them.
Does anyone have any questions on that? Seeing none, thank you very much. We'll move on to temporary resolution 9125 coming through finance. That is me, and that is auditor's request for an advance from the county auditor for real estate taxes, yeah?
Yes, this is an annual piece that the county auditor requires to be approved through city council. So when they start sending out the real estate tax bills and they start collections, I usually like to request cash advances. That way the money gets into our bank account rather than sitting in the county's bank account. So I have to have this passed in order to request those advance of funds every year. So it's an annual piece that I got to do it for each calendar year.
Okay. Any questions on that one? And now all of a sudden we're not chatty at all. Okay. Temporary resolution 9225 coming through administrative services. Mr. Luchtenberg.
Well, I'm going to be chatty.
Perfect.
I'm going to be a little bit chatty about this because I was so impressed by it. I spent time with Scott Snyder at the IT department today. This resolution is for the renewal of their enterprise asset and work management software, which I took about a half hour looking at with Scott earlier today. It's an incredible program that's put together by IT but used by LDOT, Stormwater Department, Water, Sanitation, Code Enforcement, Tree Commission, and the IT department. It keeps track of all of their assets, a work history of all the daily projects that all those departments do, generates all kinds of reports for all the departments, helps each department manage tasks. And he gave me a couple of examples that I thought would be interesting just for you all to know about this software. All the departments use it. Well, a lot of the departments use it. But for instance, LDOT, how it takes care of potholes around town. We're all familiar with all the potholes. They have a map that locates every pothole that is brought to their attention throughout the city. It indicates when the city was notified about it, when each pothole is scheduled to be filled. It keeps track of the quantities of fill material for all the potholes used on any given day, the hours involved, the wages involved of all the people doing it, the equipment and the equipment costs. I mean, it's amazing software. And then it generates a report that they use. Sanitation, if extra trash is left next to a garbage can, the garbage man will take a picture of the trash on his iPad, make a note on his iPad as the date and the location. It automatically goes into this software and keeps track of it and tells them how much is there. It automatically sends a report to the department that bills, and then the bill is added to their bill, that person's bill. It's just an amazing software. And all of LDOT, Stormwater, Water, Sanitation, Code Enforcement, Trees, and the IT department all use it. It's an amazing system. It's up for renewal. It's a 3-year contract, and they are going for a little bit more this year because the current software can only be utilized by 130 city employees, and they already have more than that are utilizing it. And Parks Department and Water Pollution Control wants to get in on it as well. So they need to upgrade the software so that they can put more people on it. So anyway, that's what we have before us. And we'll go 3 readings, and Joe will be my second on this.
Great. Any questions on that? Okay. Moving on, temporary resolution 9325 coming through finance. These are new appropriations through the income tax fund. Ms. Hamilton is approaching. You're up here for this one and the next one, yeah?
I am.
All right.
Trooper. Yep.
It's all you.
This is kind of my annual piece that I do towards the end of the year. I take a look at my cash balance, excuse me, and see what I have left in my expense budget to pay and what I need to cover in the next year. And then I try to allocate as much out in an additional tax split to police, fire, parks, everybody who benefits from that. So this is what this piece is to split $5 million, go through readings, no issues.
Any questions on this piece? Okay, that one's 3 readings. Mr. Solly is going to be my second. And then the next one for you is temporary resolution 9425. It's a hotel motel.
The next one is hotel motel, and I carried over a little more cash into this year than I anticipated. When we get our quarterly payments, the fourth quarter usually hits after the last pay period in December with the auditor's office. So it becomes a timing issue. And so I get kind of best guess what my appropriation budget's going to be in this account. So it was a little bit more than I thought carrying over, and I'm going to be ending a little bit higher too. So I've cushioned it just a little bit so that way I can go ahead and pay that money out now and hopefully carry over a little less into 2026. So.
Okay. Should I ask if there's any questions on that one? Self-explanatory, great. And then 3 readings is good on that one as well?
Perfect.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Last resolution we have introduced tonight's 9525 coming through finance again, and this is the auditor's annual piece-ish.
In this piece, it's kind of the annual piece that I'm going through as everybody else is looking at 2026. I'm centered on 2025 budget, true upping, so to speak, the 2025 expense budgets to cash on hand by December 31st. So I'm going through for people set their budgets this time last year based upon an estimated revenue. I have to go through and bring their expense budgets in line with their actual revenues that they receive. So this is, you'll see this budget, it's lowering people's current expense budgets to bring them in line with their cash balance that they should have by the end of December. And I did add to this one that Sean Fowler for sanitation is brought in as the whereases. He had me add in there, has brought in for hauling a little bit more than he anticipated. And he's going to need that additional money to pay invoices to haul the trash. He has an invoice every month, so he's going to run short for that. So by $130,000.
Any questions? No. Okay. All right. Ordinances, we have one this evening that's going to be new. It's temporary ordinance 6925. That is coming through Law Committee, and it's going to be Mr. Bizjack.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This legislation is very similar to temporary ordinance 3925. Basically, I'm just going to highlight the differences. I'm not going to go through every single page of these ordinances, but basically the significant differences between 6925 and 3925 are thus. Basically, any project where there's a 5 megawatt load or lower will be exclusively served by South Central Power. On top of it, there was also language added in there that council will review this agreement every 5 years. Outside of that, everything else is the same with 3925 and 6925. Additionally, just to let this body know, I'm going to be taking 3925 off the table tonight and withdrawing it. just so everybody is aware and not surprised by that motion. So other than that, I have nothing else to add, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
With the change, and not to put them on the spot, but Mr. Mayor, did you want to mention anything else on that piece?
Well, we've talked about this many times. This is the most recent proposal we had in front of us here a few weeks ago, and we held that special meeting to address this particular topic. It is certainly not what South Central Power asked for. They asked for a higher threshold. It's not what we originally asked for, which was 0. So after speaking with several people, including our economic development director and others, we felt that 5 megawatts was a compromise we were willing to accept based on the type of industry it would support. I think we were given an example. Magna out in our industrial park is 1 megawatts business. So that would be 5 Magnas, if you think about it that way. So we have made a significant compromise, but not what the company was asking for. But it is something I believe we can accept.
I do have a question.
Ms. Teener?
So in the future, though, if something is their territory, it's going to stay their territory? That we won't?
Our philosophy has been to honor their territorial integrity. We just, not at the expense of economic development, is where we are coming from. And that was the original discussion, and we all know that, that did happen at South Central Power. Someone else did into their territory, AEP, and is servicing the Google development currently. And that obviously was one of the reasons South Central Power was asking for more exclusive rights to their territory. But in discussions with not just the city of Lancaster, but other cities, other mayors in the same and similar situations where they have 2 service providers inside their city, the 5 megawatt threshold is something that gives some level of protection to South Central Power. And our philosophical agreement that we do not ask people what service provider they would want. We tell them that you're in South Central's territory or you're in AP's territory, and that is your service provider. The only time this ever come up was that one situation, and it was to the benefit of the city to accept that contract that ended up going to AEP instead of South Central. And we saw a significant investment in this community based on that.
If they stay.
And we don't want to lose those opportunities going forward. So that's where we're at.
Okay. Any other questions? All right, thanks for that. I was trying to slow down my meeting. All right, department updates, where we are. Anybody with department updates? Chief Snyder.
Good evening, members of council. I'd like to take this opportunity tonight during finance to highlight a financial investment that the citizens of Lancaster have made into their police department. Can everybody hear me? All right, okay. Yes. As you know, a couple of years ago, we spun up our directed patrol unit. Members of council, most of the members of council here had an opportunity to have a demonstration of that directed patrol unit perform for you here that explained their roles within the community. But for those of you that do not know what it is or haven't had that opportunity, I'll give a really brief explanation. It's a group or unit of 5 officers, 3 K-9 officers and 2 patrol officers that specifically target quality of life issues in the city of Lancaster. So for instance, your typical patrol officer that you see on the street, you can give them neighborhood concerns, you can give them issues going on in your community, and they will work them, and they'll do their due diligence in working them. But if they get distracted or called away to another call for service or back up somewhere else in the city, they can't concentrate all their time on that quality of life issue. So the directed patrol unit compiles all that information to a database and works that and specifically targets those issues. And some members of council have actually utilized that unit for their constituents when they've had issues in their area, and they're very highly effective. The reason that another portion of what they do, unfortunately, the nationwide drug epidemic forces them to conduct a portion of their role for narcotics enforcement, a significant portion. And the reason I highlight that is it'd be easy for me to stand up here and have political speak and say, hey, if you invest in the police department, you'll have a better work product, you'll have faster response times, whatever it is. But I think probably what the citizens are looking for and what you're looking for is a real world example on the streets of the effectiveness of this unit. And I have that tonight that I would like to highlight. If you don't mind passing that way.
Thank you. Holy cow.
So a short time ago, Officer Evanichko with the Directive Patrol Unit as K-9 Barry had a traffic stop in the city of Lancaster. And as a result of that traffic stop, they developed information that identified and led to one of the main suppliers of drugs and weapons in the city of Lancaster. The rest of the Directive Patrol Unit piled on that information, and over the course of the next several weeks, worked that information and conducted additional traffic stops, obtained additional statements, conducted other interviews, and obtained evidence as a result of that information, and worked that to further concrete the probable cause on that individual. They relayed that information to the Major Crimes Unit, who's our investigative arm for narcotics enforcement locally, and together they worked that information to develop probable cause on this individual, and we brought in our federal partners at the ATF to assist with this. Major Crimes Unit picked up right where we left off. This investigation was worked, and just last week it came to the culmination of what you see in front of you. The execution of this search warrant late last week resulted in the seizure of 18 firearms, 18 handguns, 9.5 pounds of methamphetamine, 3.17 pounds of fentanyl, 2.8 pounds of cocaine, along with hundreds of grams of heroin and Xanax. To put that in perspective, 2 milligrams of fentanyl can kill any one of us in this room. So to take 3.17 pounds off the street means that's over 700,000 lethal doses of fentanyl. And those firearms, methamphetamine, heroin, cocaine are all off the streets of Lancaster, Ohio because of the work that these individuals did. I am infinitely proud of Officer Evanichko and K-9 Barry, Officer Pierce and K-9 Omega, Officer Malone and K-9 Mecki, Officer Rennie and Officer Delgado, and the work that all the men and women at the Lancaster Police Department do every single day. I don't think people get an accurate picture of the work and the danger these officers deal with and the things they take off the street of this city, and I am honored to work beside them, and these guys deserve all the credit. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other department updates? All right, seeing none, move to President Porter for tonight's meeting prep.
Thank you. We have 2 council members who are out this evening, so I'll be asking that both Councilmember Solly and Councilmember Kreitz be excused as part of the meeting agenda. Thank you.
All right, other discussions for finance. Mr. Bizjack.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Everybody should have at their table, I want to be clear, this is not a piece of legislation. This is merely just an idea, a legislative idea. But I put it in a format that was tangible and, hopefully easy for all of us to digest. Obviously, I think we're all aware of the news, all the issues surrounding SNAP benefits and everything like that, and a lot of uncertainty that currently is in our community surrounding those benefits. I've been reading a lot more news stories of communities around Ohio that are, providing funds for local food pantries to help, folks in this, terrible time. So anyway, what this, idea is looking to accomplish, I came up with the figure $25,500. From conversations I've had, the figure $25,000 was thrown out. I did $25,500 just because it's divisible by 3. But the goal would be to appropriate $8,500 each for foundation dinners, Lancaster Fairfield Community Action, Lancaster Vineyard Church Food Pantry. Once again, trying to address the needs of their community. Specifically spoke to Jeanette Curtis and trying to assess what that need looks like, as well as addressing the geographical layout of the city. So kind of picked one on the west side, one in the center, one on the east side. So there's, that's what the goal of this idea is trying to accomplish. Simply just proposing it. I have no pride of authorship with this. I have, I'm more than happy to take any feedback, take any input you guys have on this. But like I said, this is something I've seen other communities do. And this is something I think, as elected leaders here in the city of Lancaster, we need to be a pillar of stability. And I think this would help contribute to that in these trying times. So that's just my 2 cents, and I'll leave it there.
We talked a little bit briefly before this, so I know everyone has a copy, whether you've had a chance to look at it or read it. We can have some discussion if we want. If we don't, next step would be ask Law Director Hall to put it into a resolution so we can present it and then vote on it as we may. Obviously, again, the floor is open for discussion on this, and if we want to talk about it in this format or we don't want to talk about it. Everybody was super chatty before the meeting, and then everyone clammed up on me. So do we want to discuss, or we want to ask Law Director Hall to put it in one of a new resolution and go from there? Mr. Mayor, anybody?
Would it go through a committee first?
So we brought it into finance because of the financial piece
Is that it?
of it, so,
Do it through finance.
yeah,
Okay.
so I'm fine with doing it through finance, just,
I've got a
And just
couple
sta-
thoughts on it first.
Well, and
Go
just
ahead.
stating for this resolution, there's no budget appropriated. You'd have, that's not in the current one you showed.
Right.
It would have to be.
right.
and
Yeah,
I-
so
and
that's
I
why we
understand.
kick it to Law Director Hall to make it,
No,
what word did you use? I used fancy.
I said real.
You said real, I said fancy, yeah.
No,
Got it.
and to Audernetto's point, no, I get that. I understand that 100%. I mean, this is as fully baked as a non-lawyer can try and make this here. But like I said, I just thought it was something, a conversation worth having and legislation worth pursuing. And I just want to provide something tangible, so we're not talking in the abstract here. That's all.
Mr. Mayor?
So, yeah, I have a couple thoughts. Number one, the auditor just addressed, there's no current funding for something of this nature. However, it could come from the unencumbered general fund balance is where it would come from. With that said, if you're following this, the federal government has been ordered to fund SNAP with the $5 billion money they had set aside for contingency. That is not enough to fund SNAP at 100%, but it is enough to fund SNAP at right around 50%. I think if we were to send it to the law director for essentially making a real resolution, we also would be able to bring it back at the next meeting. We might have new information by then. Maybe things have
Right.
changed by then.
Certainly.
I understand what Councilman Bizjack is proposing. I think other cities are faced with the same and similar situations. Some have already taken action. This being the first opportunity for us to take any action, there has yet to be an impact on the community. But we know it's coming if the federal government doesn't step to the plate and fully fund SNAP. People are going to be impacted. We know that. I'm hopeful. I think realistically hopeful that at some point the government has to reopen and that they're going to have to step up and honor their commitments, both sides. And hopefully sooner rather than later. But if we put this together, coming through finance and have it for the next meeting, we'll know a lot more where we're at on the state and national level. Should know that if you haven't heard, the state has funded pantries for $24 million in additional state funding.
$7 million's going to pantries, $18 million's going to folks 50% of the federal poverty line or lower. That's the breakdown, at least last I read.
Good information, thank you.
Yeah.
But the state has stepped up. Some cities and counties have stepped up. And it may be that the city of Lancaster should step up. But I think by putting in a resolution, coming through finance, bringing it to the next meeting, before any significant impact hits the community, we will know a lot more, and then we'll be able to take an appropriate action going forward.
Okay. Awesome, thank you. So everyone's okay with Law Director Hall coming up with one, then we'll introduce it at the next meeting. Great, all right. Any other discussion items for finance?
Do we have any idea how many meals this would provide at each station? $8,500?
I don't have that figure at this time. I know I'm really grateful to Jeanette Curtis. She's been the resource I've been working with on this one and from 211. So I don't have that figure for you. I can try to endeavor to get that information from her and see what that would yield. But yeah, I just don't at this time have that information. This was an idea that kind of sprang up on Friday. I worked on a little bit over the weekend and just kind of seeing where things go from there. So.
Just curious how long $8,500 would go.
We will try to bring you additional information so we know exactly what impact it might make. That way we can have it at the next meeting for you.
Yeah.
Right.
Anything else? We'll look for a motion to adjourn finance.
So moved.
I'll second. And we're adjourned.
It's just us.
6:27.
Right. Regular meeting of Lancaster City Council will commence at 6:35.
The Frankie Smith Funeral Home and Crematory in Lancaster and the Johnson Smith Funeral Home in Baltimore have a long and wonderful history of serving our community. Feel free to give us a call at 740-653-0652. Stop in and see us at either of our two locations, 405 North Columbus Street in Lancaster and 207 South Main Street in Baltimore. Respect for tradition, regard for change.
Hi, I'm Corey Clark with Fairfield County Job and Family Services. Our mission is to protect children and elderly, encourage family stability, and promote self-reliance for a stronger community. We're honored to be selected by the Buckeye Family's Buckeye Cares program. That means Buckeye will make a donation with each vehicle sold this month. From all of us at Fairfield County Job and Family Services, thanks, Buckeye, for your ongoing support for local families.
Please rise if you're able and join me in a moment of prayer. God, grant us the serenity to accept the things that we cannot change, the courage to change the things we can, and finally, the wisdom to know the difference. I now call the November 3rd, 2025 Lancaster City Council meeting to order. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please call the roll.
Mr. Ailes?
Here.
Mr. Vizchak?
Here.
Mrs. Hoop?
Here.
Mr. Leuchtenberg?
Here.
Mr. Schoonover?
Here.
Ms. Teener?
Here.
And Mr. Wing?
Here.
Let the record reflect that 7 members of Lancaster City Council are present this evening. At this time, I'd entertain a motion to excuse Councilmember Solly and Councilmember Kreitz.
Mr. President, I'd like to make that motion.
Second?
We have a motion and second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Reading and disposing of the journal.
Regular meeting minutes dated October 20th, 2025.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to receive and file the journal.
Second.
We have a motion and second to receive and file the journal. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. We now move to communications.
I have 3 this evening. I have a series of emails dated October 27th through October 28th, 2025 regarding ITGIS OpenGov renewal contract, RFL, submitted by GIS manager Scott Snyder, Councilmember Leuchtenberg, and Law Director Stephanie Hall. I can't do this again this week. Email dated October 28, 2025 regarding ETMS FDA trial opportunity, submitted by Fire Chief Slade Schultz. Email dated October 30th, 2025 regarding 911 tariff money expenditures, submitted by Law Director Stephanie Hall.
So were those our reports of city officials or communications?
Those are city officials.
Okay, so take a motion to have the reports of city officials.
Here, Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to receive and file reports of city officials.
Second.
We have a motion and second to receive and file the reports of city officials. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. We'll now move to communications.
Yes, I have 2. I have email dated October 24th, 2025 regarding community block development on Washington Avenue home, submitted by Jack and Joyce Brackbill, citizens of Lancaster. And the second one is email dated November 3rd, 2025 regarding public records request submitted by Grant Potts, and he's a research specialist.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to receive and file the communications.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to receive and file the communications. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. We have no special presentation or awards this evening. We have no petitions and memorials. We have now reached the point in our agenda for permission of voters and taxpayers to address council. Do we have any individuals here this evening that would like to address City Council? Seeing none, we thank you for attending tonight's meeting. We now move to the reports of standing committees.
I have 4 of them this evening. I have Water Pollution Committee meeting minutes dated October 25th, 2025, submitted by Mr. Wing. Economic Development Committee meeting agenda dated October 29th, 2025, submitted by Mrs. Hoop. Finance Committee meeting minutes dated October 31st, 2025, submitted by Mr. Schoonover. Finance Committee meeting agenda dated October 31st, 2025, submitted by Mr. Schoonover.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to receive and file reports of standing committees.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to receive and file the reports of standing committees. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Reports of special committees.
There are no reports.
We have no public hearings this evening, so we will now move on to the reading of resolutions. We're moving on with the third reading of temporary resolution 8325.
A resolution to make appropriations from planned 2026 budget expenses and other expenditures of the City of Lancaster for fiscal year 2026, and to establish line item transfers authority for all city departments. This is through Finance Committee, Mr. Schoonover, Mr. Ailes.
Councilmember Schoonover.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion that council place on the table temporary resolution 8325.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to place on the table temporary resolution 8325. Please call the roll.
Mr. Ailes?
Yes.
Mr. Bizjack?
Yes.
Mrs. Kreitz? I'm sorry, Mrs. Hoop?
Yes.
Mr. Luchtenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Schoonover?
Yes.
Mr. Solly? I'm sorry, Ms. Teener?
Yes.
And Mr. Wing?
Yes.
Temporary resolution 8325 is placed on the table by a vote of 7-0.
Mr. President,
Yes.
just real quick, because I missed it in finance, this is just the budget where we're tabling. The next version will be out sometime this week. They had a issue with some of the reports, so
Okay.
I think everybody knew to table it, but then I forgot to mention, or I forgot to recognize Miss Woody during the finance meeting.
No problem. Thank you. Temporary resolution 8425.
A resolution to increase and decrease appropriations in the general fund 1001 for Lancaster Fire Department overtime and to declare an emergency. This is through Safety Committee, Mr. Bizjack and Ms. Teener.
Councilmember Bizjack.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that council pass, engross, and enter upon the written record resolution temporarily numbered 84-25.
Second?
We have a motion and a second to pass, engross, and enter upon the written record temporary resolution 8425. Any discussion? Councilmember Bizjack.
Thank you, Mr. President. Once again, this is appropriating $75,000 from the salary line item to the overtime line item within the fire department. This is to accommodate for the fact that we have not reached full staffing yet within the fire department, and then there's been an increase in injuries, people going off duty for medical leave and pulling light duty. So this transfer of funds will cover the fire department for overtime for the rest of this calendar year. That is all, Mr. President. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Mr. Ailes?
Yes.
Mr. Bizjack?
Yes.
Mrs. Hoop?
Yes.
Mr. Luchtenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Schoonover?
Yes.
Ms. Teener?
Yes.
And Mr. Wing?
Yes.
Temporary resolution 8425 passes 10-0. Temporary resolution 8525.
A resolution to appropriate from the unencumbered balance in the Health Insurance Management Fund 7022 to amend the certificate of appropriations with the Fairfield County Auditor and to declare an emergency. This is through Administrative Services Committee, Mr. Luchtenberg and Mr. Bizjack.
Councilmember Luchtenberg.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to make a motion that council pass, engross, and enter upon the written record resolution temporarily numbered 85-25.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to pass, engross, and enter upon the written record temporary resolution 8525. Any discussion? Councilmember Luchtenberg.
Thank you, sir. We've discussed this before. This is to cover for a huge unexpected medical claim coming from Children's Hospital over an accident to a city employee's child. And this will cover for that.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Mr. Ailes?
Yes.
Mr. Bizjack?
Yes.
Mrs. Hoop?
Yes.
Mr. Luchtenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Schoonover?
Yes.
Ms. Teener?
Yes.
And Mr. Wing?
Yes.
Temporary resolution 8525 passes 7-0. We'll now move on to second reading of resolutions, beginning with temporary resolution 8925.
A resolution to authorize the Service Safety Director to enter into a contract not to exceed $500,000 with the APP Architectural for design and construction administration of the Edie Road Fire Station project and to declare an emergency. This is through Safety Committee, Mr. Bizjack and Ms. Teener.
Councilmember Bizjack.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is the second of three readings.
Second of three readings on temporary resolution 8925. We'll now move on to the first reading of resolutions, beginning with temporary resolution 9025.
A resolution to authorize then and now certificates for the Community Development Block Grant Fund 2073, CHIP Home Program Fund 2083, and for the Healthy Homes Grant 2026, year-end 2025 projected expenditures. This is through Economic Development Committee, Mrs. Hoop and Mr. Wing.
Councilmember Hoop.
This is first of three readings.
First of three readings on temporary resolution 9025. Temporary resolution 9125.
A resolution to authorize the City of Lancaster Auditor to request an advance of funds from the Fairfield County Auditor for the city's apportionment of tax settlements for 2026. This is through Finance Committee, Mr. Schoonover and Mr. Ailes.
Councilmember Schoonover.
Yes, first of three readings, please.
First of three readings on temporary resolution 9125. Temporary resolution 9225.
A resolution to authorize the Service Safety Director to dispense with competitive bidding due to a sole source provider and to enter into a contract for the city's enterprise asset and work management software and to declare an emergency. It's through Administrative Services Committee, Mr. Luchtenberg and Mr. Bizjak.
Councilmember Luchtenberg.
First of three readings.
First of three readings on temporary resolution 9225. Temporary resolution 9325.
A resolution to appropriate from the unencumbered balance and to amend the certificate of appropriations with the county auditor in the Income Tax Fund 2016. This is through Finance Committee, Mr. Schoonover and Mr. Sully.
Councilmember Schoonover.
It's first of three readings, please.
First of three readings on temporary resolution 9325. Temporary resolution 9425.
A resolution to increase receipts, appropriate from the unencumbered balance, and amend the certificate of other sources and appropriations with the county auditor in the Hotel Motel Fund 8055. This is through Finance Committee, Mr. Schoonover and Mr. Ailes.
Councilmember Schoonover.
First of three readings, please.
First of three readings on temporary resolution 9425. Temporary resolution 9525.
A resolution to amend budgets, then amend the certificate of other sources and appropriations with the county auditor and to declare an emergency. It's through Finance Committee, Mr. Schoonover and Mr. Sully.
Councilmember Schoonover.
First of three readings, please.
First of three readings on temporary resolution 9525. That concludes our reading of resolutions for this evening, and we will now move on to the reading of ordinances, beginning with the third reading of temporary ordinance 5425.
An ordinance to authorize the Service Safety Director to enter into an FCC notification for Spectrum Manager lease and Spectrum lease agreement with Census for the implementation of the Smart Metering Initiative by Lancaster Municipal Gas. This is through Service Committee, Mr. Ailes and Mr. Wing.
Councilmember Ailes.
Yes. I move that we pass and engross and enter upon the written record ordinance temporarily numbered 54-25.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to pass, engross, and enter upon the written record temporary ordinance 5425. Councilmember Ailes.
Yeah, there are two things that I get excited about. I get excited about trees, and I get excited about gas meters. This is a smart meter. This meter has no mechanical parts. The gas passes through it and is measured. You can't fix it. In 20 years, the battery's going to die and we're going to throw it away. That's unheard of. I built meters for almost 20 years and that's unheard of. So good for the gas department. It's 2025 and they've been building automatic meter reading devices since the 80s. So we're a little late to the game, but probably it's a good thing because there was nothing like that. It has, in order for it to work, it's on a dedicated channel that's controlled by the FCC, and we have to apply for a license, and that's what the legislation is about. So I could spend a lot of time talking about this if you'd like me to, but otherwise.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Mr. Ailes?
Yes.
Mr. Bizjak?
Yes.
Mrs. Hoop?
Yes.
Mr. Luchtenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Schoonover?
Yes.
Ms. Teener?
Yes.
And Mr. Wing?
Yes.
Temporary ordinance 5425 passes 7-0. Temporary ordinance 5525.
An ordinance to establish the compensation for the council president, council members, and the council clerk for the term commencing payroll 1 of 2026. This is through Finance Committee, Mr. Schoonover and Mr. Ailes.
Councilmember Schoonover.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion that council pass, engross, and enter upon the written record temporary ordinance 5525.
Second.
We have a motion and a second, pass, engross, and enter upon the written record temporary ordinance 5525. Any discussion, Councilmember Schoonover?
I don't have any.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Mr. Ailes?
Yes.
Mr. Bizjak?
Yes.
Mrs. Hoop?
Yes.
Mr. Luchtenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Schoonover?
Yes.
Mr. Sully? I'm sorry, Ms. Teener?
No.
And Mr. Wing?
Yes.
Temporary ordinance 5525 passes 6-1. Temporary ordinance 5625.
An emergency ordinance declaring the improvement to certain parcels associated with the Sheridan Drive project in the city to be public purpose and exempt from taxation pursuant to ORC 5709.40B, requiring the owners of those parcels to make service payments in lieu of taxes, authorizing the city to require minimum service payments, and such payments are agreed upon by developer, establishing a municipal public improvement tax increment equivalent fund for the deposit of those service payments, and as applicable, minimum service payments, authorizing payments to the Lancaster City Schools District, specifying the public infrastructure improvements that directly benefit parcels, and approving related matters. Mr. Economic Development Committee, Mrs. Hoop and Mr. Schoonover.
Councilmember Hoop.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to make a motion that council pass, engross, and enter upon the written record temporary ordinance 56-25.
Second.
A motion and second to pass, engross, and enter upon the written record temporary ordinance 5625. Any discussion, Councilmember Hoop?
Thank you. This is just a developer TIF along Sheridan Drive, and this is just for the commercial part or the multifamily. And just a reminder, with all of the TIFs, it will make the schools whole, and it's, I think I already mentioned it's a developer TIF, so that's it.
Okay, thank you. Any further discussion? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Mr. Ailes?
Yes.
Mr. Bizjack?
Yes.
Mrs. Hoop?
Yes.
Mr. Luchtenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Schoonover?
Yes.
Ms. Teener?
Yes.
And Mr. Wayne?
Yes.
Temporary ordinance 5625 passes 7-0. We'll now move on to the second reading of ordinances, and we will do a full reading beginning with, let's see. Which ones do we? Okay, we'll just begin with temporary ordinance 5725.
An ordinance to establish the compensation for the city treasurer for the term commencing payroll 1/2026 and to declare an emergency. This is through Finance Committee, Mr. Schoonover and Mr. Ailes.
Councilmember Schoonover.
So second of three readings, please.
Thank you. Second of three readings on temporary ordinance 5725, temporary ordinance 5825.
An ordinance to adopt and enact the City of Lancaster Cybersecurity Program pursuant to Ohio Revised Code, Chapter 9, Miscellaneous, Section 9.64, Political Subdivision Cybersecurity. This is through Law Committee, Mr. Bizjack and Mrs. Kreitz.
Councilmember Bizjack.
Thank you, Mr. President. This will be the second of three readings.
Second of three readings on temporary ordinance 5825. We'll now move to temporary ordinance 5925.
An ordinance to amend the City of Lancaster zoning map to change the zoning of 35.506 plus or minus acres identified as Fairfield County Auditor Tax Parcel Number 053-416-2500 from Planned Unit Development District to Residential Medium Density District. And this is through Code Enforcement and Zoning Committee, Mrs. Hoop and Mr. Sully.
Councilmember Hoop.
This is second of three readings.
Second of three readings on temporary ordinance 5925, temporary ordinance 6025.
And this is an ordinance to amend the Lancaster Codified Ordinances, Part 11, Planning and Zoning, Title 3, Zoning and Property Restrictions, and to adopt Chapter 1131, Short-Term Rentals. This through Code Enforcement and Zoning Committee, Mr. Luchtenberg and Mr. Sully.
Councilmember Luchtenberg.
Second of three readings, please.
Second of three readings on temporary ordinance 6025, temporary ordinance 6125.
An ordinance to establish the benefits, titles, and compensation for management and professional personnel employed by the City of Lancaster, Ohio for the year 2026 and to declare an emergency. This is through Finance Committee, Mr. Schoonover and Mr. Ailes.
Mr. Schoonover.
Second of three readings.
Second of three readings on temporary ordinance 6125, temporary ordinance 6225. Yeah, we could do that.
Okay. An ordinance to establish benefits, titles, and compensation for those employees who are not members of the recognized bargaining units employed by the city of Lancaster, Ohio, for the year 2026, and to declare an emergency. This through Finance Committee, Mr. Schoonover and Mr. Ailes.
Councilmember Schoonover.
We're going to do second of three readings.
Second of three readings on temporary ordinance 6225. We're going to take temporary ordinance 6325, 6425, 6525, 6625 together. If you would read them all,
I
please.
sure will. 6325, an ordinance to establish the benefits, titles, and compensation for seasoned interns to be employed by the city of Lancaster during the summer of 2026 and to declare an emergency. This is through Finance Committee, Mr. Schoonover and Mr. Solly. Ordinance temporary 6425, an ordinance to establish the benefits, titles, and compensation for the Information Technology Administrator Office of the Clerk of Court employed by the city of Lancaster, Ohio, commencing the first pay period of 2026 and to declare an emergency. This is through Finance Committee, Mr. Schoonover and Mr. Solly. Temporary ordinance 6525, an ordinance to establish the benefits, titles, and compensation for Fairfield County Municipal Court Management and professional personnel employed by the city of Lancaster, Ohio for the year 2026 and to declare an emergency. This through Finance Committee, Mr. Schoonover and Mr. Solly. And then finally, ordinance temporary 6625, an ordinance to establish benefits, titles, and compensation for Fairfield County Municipal Court judicial and probation personnel employed by the city of Lancaster, Ohio for the year 2026 and to declare an emergency. This again is through Finance Committee, Mr. Schoonover and Mr. Solly.
Councilmember Schoonover.
Be the second of three readings on temporary ordinance 63 through 66.
Thank you. Temporary ordinance 6725.
An ordinance providing the issuance and sale of the revenue notes in the aggregate principal amount of $100,000 or $1,442.07 to pay costs of improving Edie Road, Memorial Drive, and Michaels Way by grading, widening, paving, curbing, and improving bridges and railroad crossings, relocating utilities and installing sidewalks, traffic signals and signs, and water sanitary and stormwater lines and facilities, together with all necessary appurtenances thereto, and declaring an emergency. This is through Finance Committee, Mr. Schoonover and Mr. Ailes.
Mr. Schoonover.
It's second of three readings, please.
Second of three readings on temporary ordinance 6725, temporary ordinance 6825.
An ordinance providing for the issuance and sale of a revenue note in the aggregate principal amount of $186,577.58 to reimburse Flagstar Bank N.A. for a draw on the letter of credit in connection with the cost of improving Edie Road, Memorial Drive, and Michaels Way by grading, widening, paving, curbing, and improving bridges and railroad crossings, relocating utilities, and installing sidewalks, traffic signals and signs, and water, sanitary and stormwater lines and facilities, together with all necessary appurtenances thereto, and declaring an emergency. This is through Finance Committee, Mr. Schoonover and Mr. Ailes.
Councilmember Schoonover.
Second of three readings, please.
Second of three readings on temporary ordinance 6825. We'll now move on to the first reading of ordinances, beginning with temporary ordinance 6925.
An ordinance to grant the South Central Power Company its successors and assigns a franchise for the right to acquire, construct, maintain, and operate in the streets, thoroughfares, alleys, bridges, and public places in the city of Lancaster, Ohio, lines for the transmission and distribution of electric power and energy to the city and the inhabitants thereof for light, heat, power, and other purposes, and for the transmission of the same within, through, or across said city, and to declare an emergency. This is through the Law Committee, Mr. Bizjack and Mr. Schoonover.
Councilmember Bizjack.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is the first of three readings.
First of three readings on temporary ordinance 6925. We have concluded the reading of our ordinances and resolutions this evening. We do have tabled legislation, temporary ordinance 3925.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to make a motion that we remove temporary ordinance 39-25 from the table and then withdraw it from further consideration.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to withdraw temporary ordinance 3925 from the table. Do we have to have that as two separate, or can we do one?
Sorry, you can do one.
Okay, thank you. And to withdraw it. So please call the roll.
Mr. Ailes?
Yes.
Mr. Bizjack?
Yes.
Mrs. Hoop?
Yes.
Mr. Leuchtenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Schoonover?
Yes.
Ms. Teener?
Yes.
And Mr. Wing?
Yes.
Temporary ordinance 3925 is withdrawn by a vote of 7-0. We will be leaving temporary ordinance 4925 on the table. We'll now move to unfinished business. Is there any unfinished business this evening? Hearing none, we'll move on to new business. We'll begin with committee reports. Councilmember Bizjack.
I have none at this time. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Councilmember Leuchtenberg.
Thank you, yes. The Administrative Services Committee met on October 15th. Some highlights from that meeting. IT Telecom Department began the installation of 4 new tornado signs the following week. They've been working on an upgrade to the 911 system, which should be done by December 1. And they've been working on putting additional data into the OpenGov system, putting that into the cloud. HR Department, Danielle Williams updated us all on the city employee stats for year to date. That would be new hires, departures, workers' comp claims. And we had a wonderful update on the success of the Fairfield Medical Center's wellness and mental health clinics for all city employees being utilized significantly. Everyone's pleased with how they're working. Service Safety Director mentioned that they're working on the 2026 city budget diligently. And then we had an update from the city facilities manager on the ongoing work at City Hall. And he was initiating a study on all the city buildings, tenant spaces, parking lots, et cetera, for 2026 to evaluate all aspects of them from maintenance to efficiency of use standpoint, and then to determine priorities for utilization in the future and maintenance requirements and scheduling in the coming years. And if I get reelected tomorrow, our next meeting would be tentatively scheduled for the 3rd Wednesday of January, which would be January 21 in room 1897, City Hall at 8 o'clock a.m.
Thank you. Councilmember Ailes.
Nothing new.
Thank you. Councilmember Teener.
Yes, our next meeting is November the 14th at 7:30.
Which committee?
Oh, I'm so sorry, Public Works. And I will not be scheduling next year. I lost. But actually, I do want to say something, though. As for the, our wages, I have not taken a raise in all the 12 years I've been on council. And I know during the election, it had been brought up that, you know, we had taken raises, and I have not for 12 years. So I did want that out there.
Thank you. Councilmember Schoonover.
I'm trying not to sound like a broken record with the budget, and since I skipped over you, I will defer my time if you'd like to discuss it.
I don't know that I have a lot to add at this point, other than Mayor and I are trying to finalize the budget this week. We still have a couple changes that we are trying to make, and we are working diligently on that. And we are going to try and have a final budget version out to you, hopefully by the end of this week, if not early next week. And I think that that's all I have to say.
And aside from, like, bring me an oxygen tank for all of the 3rd readings next meeting, that's all I got.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Councilmember Wing.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. Next meeting for Water Pollution Control Committee is 2 weeks from today, 7:30 a.m., the 1897 conference room. Construction season is nearing an end, so our legislative docket is not nearly as busy as it was, but our employees in these departments are still quite busy. Water department, we have 2 plants worth of operators that are operating 3 plants right now. So they're doing a great job there. And drove past Main Street and Cherry Street today and glad it's finally back open and the areas that were affected by the sewer project have been repaved.
Thank you. Councilmember Hoop.
I have nothing.
Okay, thank you. We'll now move on to announcement of scheduled meetings.
I have next regular sessions of council, November 17th, 2025 at 6:30 p.m. here in council chambers. December 1st, 2025 at 6:30 p.m. here in council chambers.
And December 15th.
Did I have that on the last one? And December 15th, 2025 at 6:30 p.m. in council chambers.
Thank you. Which means we have reached the point where we only have 3 meetings left in 2025. Regularly scheduled committee meetings.
I have Law Committee, November 7th at 9 a.m., City Hall 1897 Conference Room. Public Works Committee meeting, November 14th at 7:30 a.m., City Hall 1897 Conference Room. Water Pollution Committee meeting, November 17th at 7:30 a.m., City Hall 1897 Conference Room. Code Enforcement, November 20th at 7:30 a.m., City Hall 1897 Conference Room. And then since we only have 3 in December, I went ahead and wrote those down as well. Safety Committee meeting, December 5th at 8 a.m., City Hall 1897 Conference Room. Service Committee, December 12th at 8 a.m., City Hall 1897 Conference Room. And then the last one is Water Pollution Committee meeting, December 15th at 7:30 a.m., City Hall 1897 Conference Room.
Reading of bills.
I have 3 of them today. I have all of them from MNCO, $102.70 for publication of ordinances, $68.21 for notice for public notice of short-term rentals, and then the public notice for zoning map amendment for $63.36.
Thank you.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to pay the bills.
Second?
We have a motion and second to pay the bills. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. We have no need for an executive session. I would now entertain a motion to adjourn.
Mr. President, I'd like to make that motion to adjourn.
Second?
We have a motion and second to adjourn. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 We are adjourned. Please remember to sign your legislation this evening. Thank you.
Anyone want to see the next?
The Frankie Smith Funeral Home and Crematory in Lancaster and the Johnson Smith Funeral Home in Baltimore have a long and wonderful history of serving our community. Feel free to give us a call at 740-653-0652. Stop in and see us at either of our 2 locations, 405 North Columbus Street in Lancaster and 207 South Main Street in Baltimore. Respect for tradition, regard for change.
Hi, I'm Corey Clark with Fairfield County Job and Family Services. Our mission is to protect children and elderly, encourage family stability, and promote self-reliance for a stronger community. We're honored to be selected by the Buckeye Family's Buckeye Cares program. That means Buckeye will make a donation with each vehicle sold this month. From all of us at Fairfield County Job and Family Services, thanks, Buckeye, for your ongoing support for local families.